Team Vitality is your Blast TV All-Steam Major 2025 champions. What a surprise, right? Obviously not. I'm just kidding, but still, there was a couple of surprises during this major. A lot of surprises throughout the whole stages, and also surprises during the playoffs. And we also had players that personally I didn't expect to do that well. And well, the MVP of the major Zaibu was expected, obviously, or one of the biggest favorites. You gotta be Donk and the big names, but there was a couple of surprises between the teams of players that maybe played better than they should, or actually improved a lot, in my expectations at least. And there is obviously disappointments as well, right? Teams that didn't go through, didn't do great, and they will probably make roster changes for the second season. And there are also players that used to perform very well and didn't perform during the major. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Not necessarily all the negative aspects, but we're going to mainly focus on selecting who was the best in every specific role we have in the game right now, which means we're going to be talking about the best IGL throughout the major, best rifler, best AWPer, best support, and then entry fragger as well. Then we can also talk about who was the surprise, in my opinion, who was a disappointment that maybe we expected him to do better. The best coach, obviously, and then also we're gonna be choosing our MVP based on impact. Do you think I'm gonna select Zaiwu just like the tournament did? We will see. So before anything, I want to thank you guys for sticking with me here at SkinClub YouTube channel. If you guys haven't liked the video yet, please click the like button and also subscribe to the channel and keep following the channel and the SkinClub community, because we, together with other creators, we're creating a lot of content for you guys, and I really hope you guys are enjoying all of this. So let's go straight to the video. So we're gonna be starting off by talking about the IGL position. And when we talk about the IGL, I have to analyze a couple of things before making a decision, where the main one obviously has to do with the T sides. If the team has done great, the ability to adapt during the games, firepower as well, how much he actually contributed, mainly throughout the playoffs. Obviously, it has to be an IGL that made it to the playoffs, as in my opinion, it wouldn't make much sense, right? And well, I guess we can cut and go straight to it. My IGL of the major, the best IGL throughout the major, is AWPex, 100% AWPex. And I mean, not only he has been the best IGL throughout the major, but in my eyes, the best IGL throughout the whole year, right? When you take into consideration that Vitality has won the amount of events that they did throughout the year, I mean, we can quickly check this, right? Because this is also what really, really matters in the end, right? So this year, I guess we can put it LAN, and then we will see that they won IEM Katowice, ESL Pro League, Blast Open Lisbon, Melbourne. That's already 4 tournaments. Blast Rivals, IEM Dallas, and then the major itself, which makes it 7 tournaments, right? 7 tournaments in 6 months. I mean, that's insanity, right? I guess there's been 9 tournaments, 9 or 10 tournaments in total, and they won 7 of them. Which, I mean, if that doesn't prove that whatever AWPex is calling is great, I mean, it is what it is, right? AWPex has to be our choice. And then when it comes to stats, AWPex is not gonna have the best stats. I mean, obviously, right? Also because he doesn't even have the space for that in the team. He's sacrificing himself completely in order to enable the others to perform. He's also going in front and doing a lot of entry roles. So, but just in general, like how much he improved throughout the last few years, but mainly in this year, I think he got to a point where he's feeling really comfortable. I think Rob's addition also helped him to develop even more. Robs is probably a guy that is also controlling a lot in the game. And then yeah, I mean, for me, it's no surprise that ever since Rob joined, he became even better. And his stats is okay for an IGL that plays all the spots he does. But mainly, what I want to show you guys is his stats during the grand finals, because that for me was insane. Right when the team needed the most, in the biggest high pressure situation they could have had throughout the major, the guy just delivered it all. Like, he was, for me, probably the best player in the series. No joke. Like, he was just as impactful as Zaiwu. And if you watch this game, specifically on Inferno, you're going to see that, like, he won Vitality 2 or 3 rounds just by, holding the A bomb side by himself twice. And then one of the rounds he rotated amazingly well towards the B bomb side. He was calling great on the T side. So, I mean, the guy did it all. And I think he did it all throughout the whole series. So, I mean, just by this, him performing this well in the major grand final, that for me is impressive by itself. He also did great in some of the other maps, whatever. Like, he struggled a little bit against Mouse Sports in the semifinals. Sure, but again, he doesn't play the roles, and he's not gonna have big stats. He's not supposed to have big stats. And if you have an IGL with big stats, there is something wrong in your team. But the thing that impresses me the most is the round win percentage on the T side throughout the major. And they're not gonna be the best T side throughout the major, but if you take into consideration they played double of the maps between all these teams here, Furia, G2, FaZe, that is to some extent, I mean, it gives them more rounds, more opportunities, but also more opportunities to fail and to make this statistic even worse, right? If they did bad, which is not the case. He played 13 maps in total, 51% round win conversion. And I mean, I think that is impressive. That is a very good number. And yeah, for me, they're also a very good team in terms of opening kills statistics, percentage of rounds where the team won the opening duel and won the rounds. They were also all the way in the top, 47.5% win rate. So yeah, I mean, and then when you take a look on the City side, they were also the second best team in the tournament. Or maybe you can make a point for being, yeah, I mean, the second best team, because I would say Mouse had the best City side in this tournament, right? 62% round win conversion in 17 maps played. That is crazy. That is really a lot. So I would say Mouse best City side, and then Vitality comes in second place. But yeah, I mean, obviously Apex has a voice, has a say on both of the sides, mainly on the T side, but also controlling things. And I also think Apex controls the emotion and the spirit of the team, right? He does such a great job on hyping the guys up and all of that. And he's one of the best at that, actually. He had a lot of fun. He made sure to take all the pressure into his shoulders during the stage where, people were cheering against him, and he was embracing it. He was making fun of it, and he was releasing pressure from his teammates while doing all of that and putting a lot of responsibility under his shoulder, because imagine they actually lost the finals, like how much he would get booed, how much the people would make fun of him, right? And he embraced it. He had a lot of fun with it, all the way unto the end where he gave that interview, making fun of the American crowd and whatever. It was a very exciting moment. It was a pleasure to watch this team, and it was a pleasure to watch Apex improvement throughout the years. Congratulations from me, the best IGL by far during this major. My rifler of the major is nobody else than Senzu from the Mongols. 18 years old, crazy room for improvement. The guy already performed insanity during the last major, and it only gets better. I think the more experience he gets, the better he gets. And this major was another example of this. He was very impactful. I'm going to be showing you guys not only his stats, but also some of the leaderboards so you guys can actually feel what I'm saying. Well, he was the third best player in the tournament with the 1.29 rating across 14 maps played. Besides that, he was only behind Donkey and Zaiwu, by the way. Just making sure. And then, yeah, this is his stats during the tournament, right? It was a rough start against Furia here, where he still was decent, I would say. And then really good matches against Lean Vision and Liquid, yeah. fair enough. But then he goes and plays against FaZe Clan, and even though they lost 13-4, the guy managed to put 18 frags on Anubis, 1.38 rating. The result was 13-4, by the way. And then, yeah, second map, they also lost. He was also playing amazing. And then comes the G2 series with crazy amount of overtimes, 28, 25, whatever. But the guy was super important for that victory. If it wasn't for Senzo performing the way he did, he had a live game during that series. At some point before the overtimes, I think he had 30 kills or something in total. It was insanity. If you haven't watched that game, go and watch it. But yeah, 1.61 rating. If it wasn't for him, it would definitely go towards the third map. And then who knows what would happen, right? We go to the playoffs. The guy again delivers against FaZe Clan, and then he just shits the completely all over against the Pain Gaming. And he was also really good against Vitality. By far, best rifle in my opinion throughout the tournament. And I mean, I don't know how long it's gonna take until he actually starts getting offers from the international teams. I'm not sure if he would even be willing to make a change, but I'm sure this guy would have a space in a lot of the top teams nowadays. Crazy impact. Used to be a very chill dude and has a lot of impact, has a lot of... I mean, if you take a look at the leaderboards, I think his future in many of them, right? Rating 2.1, third best player in the tournament. KD difference, also second best player in the tournament. What else? He's also damage per round, also featured as one of the best players in the tournament. Total kills, third best player in the tournament. Kills per round, he's also here. I mean, he's everywhere, right? Total assists, 70 assists, and he's not even a support player. Also here. Oh yeah, this is also impressive. Clutches, he's very good at clutching. Total headshots, third best in the tournament. He's better than Dong. He's better than a lot of the players. What else? Headshots per round. Literally the best player, 0.51% rating, right? And yeah, I mean, he just deserves it. He literally just deserves it. Very good player. Impact rating also fifth best player in the whole tournament. Congratulations to Senzo. I think the stats proves it all. And I'm really looking forward to see where this kid goes, right? 18 years old, has a lot of room for improvement. And who knows, maybe he's going to be one of the best players in the world at some point. I know many of you will say, what the hell, right? Why you haven't picked ZywOo? But that's because ZywOo is complete and he's one of the best players in the world overall with the pistols, rifles, and everything. And actually on the T side, ZywOo prefers to rifle way more than AWPing. But this guy right here, this is legit. The best AWPer in the tournament by far, in my opinion. 920. The guy from the Mongols as well, 22 years old. He deserves it. He was really impactful during the playoffs as well. I mean, we can just take a look at his statistics just to make sure we get a better feeling out of this. He wasn't featured like as one of the best players. Actually, if you take a look at the AWPers, maybe we can see like better AWPers than him. Simple, yeah, but he didn't play the playoffs that many games. NQZ from Pengami also had a lot of impact. Chiro as well, we could make a point for him. Molodoi, but still, I still think 910 had more impact, especially in the grand finals. I really enjoyed watching him play. I think he got a lot of entries, and we're also going to be seeing a few of the leaderboards so you guys get a better feeling out of it. We can make a point for any of these other AWPers, to be honest, but just the fact that he hit the grand finals and he played well against Vitality, against ZywOo, for me, that proves a point. And yeah, let's just take a look at him. His statistics during the tournament, 1.18 rating. Then if we go to the matches, yeah, he had a crazy map on Mirage against Vitality. Decent stats, like pretty bad stats in the other two maps. But then if you take a look, like he destroyed Pain Gaming, played really well against FaZe. Simple, by the way. Then 38 kills against G2 again, like very important in this series to help them go through. And then yeah, good maps against Visual Liquid as well. Whatever. As I said, like it's just a preference of style as well. Like when I want to choose an AWPer, I want to make sure that I pick an AWPer that actually played with the AWP as much as he could, but also like his attitude in the game, right? How proactive he is, his attitude, and his contribution to the team. And I think this guy right here, he did it very, very well. Like he definitely took initiative a lot of the rounds. He finds a very good consistency in terms of going for kills. finding this balance between going aggressive and going passive. Rotates very well on the map, and for me, he's also been improving a lot. For me, the second best player in this Mongols team, and the fact that they reached the grand finals, for me, and he played this great on Mirage against Zaiwu, dominated him completely. For me, he deserves it. He earned the spot as the best AWPer in the tournament. My best support in the tournament is definitely Robs from Team Vitality, and main reason for this is that, oh, actually, I want to give a shout out to Yuri as well from Furia. Even though he didn't play as many maps as Robs did, I want to show you guys like the stats from the tournament. Yuri also embraced all these support roles, and he was actually better rated than Robs, 1.27 rating in 7 maps played. Robs did play more maps, but Robs also plays some of these roles for much longer than Yuri did. And Yuri adapted to these roles more recently with the addition of Yekindar and Molodoi to the Furia roster, and I think he adapted very well. He had a lot of impact for it, positive impact in the team, and also statistically speaking. And that's why I think I want to give a shout out to Yuri. I was really in between Yuri and Robs, but again, Robs made it to the playoffs. Yuri didn't. Who knows what would be Yuri's performance during the playoffs? So it's very unfortunate, but I have to give it to Robs. And yeah, I mean, the guy is just rock solid in every position he plays. He statistically says it all. He doesn't have that much space in the team. He doesn't have the roles for it, and he still put up really insane numbers. We can take a look at the matches. Played really well in the grand finals. Played really well against Mouse Sports. Decent against Navi. Really great series against VP. I mean, I guess you can just make a point that he had 2 very bad maps in the not even bad maps. He was decent. He was literally decent. Like, even against Legacy, where they get shit on, like, it's still fine, right? 8-8, like, it's not like he was crazy underperforming or anything like that. They just got dominated as a team. So, yeah, I mean, he just had one rough map today on Mirage against the Mongols, which, by the way, they actually used his bomb site a little bit, but still, like, for me, rock solid support, the best in the world right now. And yeah, if you're looking for support to watch, definitely do take a look on Robs, because he is the absolute beast on the roll. Speeding things up a little bit, I want to choose Yekindar as my best entry during the whole tournament. And I know you guys will say, well, but Fury didn't even make it to the playoffs. Who knows how well he would perform if so. Yeah, that's true. But still, the amount of impact I saw him having during those Furia games, like, no joke, if Fury didn't have Yekindar, there's absolutely no way they would get even closer of the, making to the playoffs and all of that. Like, I'm 100% sure about that. Yekindar was insane throughout the whole major. He was also, like, even though they didn't make it to the, like, further in the playoffs, they actually ended up losing to Pain Gaming. He was insane, like 1.21 rating. And by the way, he's not playing like passive roles, baiting or anything like that. He's just as aggressive as the likes of Donk, for example, when those type of players, like, he even though he played only 7 maps, he had a lot of impact. Like, if it wasn't for him, Furia, for example, would get absolutely destroyed on that Inferno game against Pain Gaming, where they ended up losing, but it would be a lot worse because Yekindar was completely dominating in the beginning of the game. He's a specialist on Banana Inferno ever since the Virtus Pro days, and still, it's very refreshing to see how well he can still perform in some of those roles. And then, I think he's also featured here at the leaderboard in some of the entry. Yeah, Impact, 3rd best player in the whole tournament, just behind Donk and Zaiwu. That's impressive. Opening kills per round, there you go. 2nd best in the tournament. Pretty much same rating, right, as Dumao, who I also want to give a shout out because he was also stepping up huge comparing to the other tournaments, right? There was a massive difference between Dumao in this tournament in particular and all the other tournaments in his career, right? Where he was really, really shy, not even close of having the attitude that he had in the major. Well, Yekindar also had shot percentage, one of the best, had shots per round, 3rd best in the whole tournament. I mean, I guess stats says it all. Yekindar deserves to be on this list. I know we literally just talked about Dumao as a player, and for me, he was the biggest surprise during this tournament by far. Like, I know some of you guys will say, yeah, but he didn't even make it to the playoffs, blah, 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 but still, like, they should have won against Mouse 2-0, and they should have been in the playoffs. Like, if you go and watch that game, you will see they just threw both last maps. Like, Inferno and Nuke should have been theirs, and they just threw it away. Still, like, he was really, really well. Played amazing throughout the whole major. We can see his stats in the last few games. Look at him against Mouse Sports in that series that we just talked about. Look at him against Lean Vision as well. This guy has a lot of space, creates a lot of space for his team, was doing a lot of entry rolls. And then, yeah, like he had crazy, crazy impact throughout the entire major cycle. Played really, really well against Vitality, against FaZe, against, some of the best teams in the world. For me, like coming from a team like Legacy that nobody had really high expectations, and they shouldn't even be at the major to begin with. And then coming this hot and playing this well compared to the past performances he had prior to this, for me, big, big surprise. And then when we talk about the biggest disappointment, I have to give it to Flamus. Like there was a lot of expectations coming out of Flamus ever since he joined this roster. Yeah, I mean, he has roles for this as well. I know he's inexperienced, 20 years old, only one of the biggest, like, one of his biggest opportunities to play in a major, blah, blah, blah. But still, like, I at least expected him to do better. Like, I was really struggling a little bit to select this one because I thought about pulling Alexib and some of the other IGLs, but I thought it would be a little bit unfair compared to the roles that this guy has, and he didn't perform. Like, if you check his numbers and the teams that the VP played against, in my eyes, he should be performing a lot better. Like, yeah, sure, I can take the Vitality loss and I can accept these stats against Vitality, but there's no way you play this bad against Pain Gaming with a very short map pool that they had, very short period of practice as a team, and then also shit the bed against Furia. I mean, yeah, I had two great maps against Mouse and Legacy. I guess we can say he started very well in the major, but finishing like this when they needed him the most, he didn't deliver. So for me, Flamus has to be on this list. And then to finish this video, I want to give a shout out to the best coach of the major and also my MVP. The best coach of the major, in my opinion, has to be Cyclone. I think that what happened with Mouse in stage 3, where they went 0-2 and they almost got eliminated by Team Liquid in that crazy overtime game on Mirage, if I'm not mistaken, they still managed to overcome that. It took really great pauses throughout the whole game. I think, no joke, I think he's one of the best at taking timeouts when the team needs the most. I've been keeping an eye on that because the Brazilian teams are really bad at that. So I decided to take a look on all the teams that I watched throughout this major. And in my opinion, he was just really good with the timings. And I also noticed that every time Mouse took a timeout, they adapted very well. So he definitely has to do something with whatever he's saying to these guys. And he was really good at calming them down as well when they needed the most. And there was a lot of moments for that because they struggled against everybody they played against, right? There wasn't a single easy game for these guys. They played Liquid, Aurora, should have lost against Legacy as well. And they also made huge comebacks in 2 maps in order to be able to make it to the playoffs. Then, yeah, during the playoffs as well, the same thing happened. Yeah, they did play against Vitality, ended up losing, but still really great timeouts, really good game plans, in my opinion, and definitely contributes a lot to this team. Like, compared to the other coaches, I definitely think that he's very underrated. Also, if you consider his history as well of building these rosters, bringing upcoming talents and all of that, then for me, he's a very good coach. And then to wrap up the video, yeah, the answer is yes, I will choose ZywOo as my MVP of the major. I think like the stat says it all, right? If you go on HLTV and watch it, you will see that he was the best player in a lot of aspects. But just the impact that he has for his team. When the team needs him, he will deliver. He's very good with everything, like very good rifler, very good AWPer, very good with the pistols, contributes a lot in pistol rounds, actually. Like, it's insane. And yeah, I can only imagine the aura behind playing around him. And he seems to be a very chill guy as well. And I think he just brings like very good mood in the team, together with being the best player in the world right now by far. Like, I will be hella surprised if he doesn't win the best player of the world award towards the end of the year. No joke. Like, someone has to pull a miracle and something really crazy has to happen during the next 6 months to change my mind. But for me, he is already the best of the best this year by far. All right. So yeah, I know the video ended up being a little bit too long, But we talked about a lot of things, and I want to know from you guys down below in the comments if you guys disagree about anything. If not, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.